You don't have to. There's a story behind that. This is your daily message from Chad number 1012 to upgrade your mental game today by telling yourself a better story. Because the most important story you hear is the story you tell yourself. This message is dedicated to Bill Thrasher. Here's the upgrade. Why worry? Upgraded thinking knows worry is a waste. Here's the story. When Apple was developing the iPhone, Steve Jobs was convinced the screen needed to be glass, not plastic. Plastic would feel cheap and scratch easily. Plus, unlike all mobile devices up to that point, there would be no buttons. The whole thing would be a screen. Jobs thought he would reach out to the glass experts at Corning. He spoke with Wendell Weeks, the CEO of Corning, and started explaining the chemistry of glass and plastics. Weeks thought it funny that the CEO of a computer company was calling the CEO of a glass company explaining the science behind glass. He indulged Jobs, though, and mentioned that there was a glass with the specifications Jobs described that had been developed in the 1960s. Corning called it Gorilla Glass. It was never produced because there wasn't a market application for it. Jobs was excited and told Weeks he wanted him to make as much as they could in 6 months. "We don't have that capacity," Weeks replied. "None of our plants can make the glass now." Jobs said, "Don't be afraid." This stunned Weeks. He's good-humored and confident, but not used to pushing against reality like Jobs would often do. Weeks tried to explain that a false sense of confidence would not overcome engineering challenges. That was a premise that Jobs had repeatedly shown he didn't accept. He stared at Weeks unblinkingly. "Don't be afraid, Wendell. Yes, you can do it," he said. "Get your mind around it." As Weeks would retell the story, he would shake his head in astonishment. "We did it in under 6 months. We produced a glass that had never been made." Why would Jobs assume Weeks would be afraid? Well, fear often shuts down consideration. We're scared to entertain an unusual idea. Jobs could have accepted the constraints Weeks presented. Instead, Jobs pushed back. He resisted the resistance. Maybe it was reverse psychology Jobs was using. Whatever it was, it worked. It's safe to assume the person we're dealing with is worried. A little reassurance can't hurt. Emphasize their capability. Yes, you can do it. You can do more than you think. People are scared. People are worried. People are anxious. People are fearful. They may be scared about their job. They may be worried about their finances. They may be anxious about the future. They may be fearful about technology. Always try to soften people's anxieties. Try to reassure people. You know, the command, "don't be afraid," appears over 100 times in the Bible. It's probably the most disregarded command. Terrence McKenna asked a good question one time. "Who do you think you are that you should worry?" It assumes you know so much more than you do. You don't know enough to worry like you do. It's pretty arrogant of you to worry. It's so limiting. Why bet against yourself like that? He says, worry is praying to the devil. You're poisoning your will to action. Taking action is one of the most image-bearing gifts you've been given. Like Jobs said, yes, you can do it. Get your mind around it. The better story to tell yourself is, I do not waste precious time and energy worrying. Worry is a waste. Fretting and panic is a total waste. Don't be afraid. Believe that existence has never been better. There is so much promise. There is so much possibility. Pursue peace. Resist your itch to worry. Run from people who prey on your panic. Turn off people who try to amplify your anxiety. There's no wisdom in worry. It's a big fat lie. Fear is folly. There is no wisdom in it. When you tell yourself, but this, but that, I need to prepare, I have to be informed, I need to know this or that, you'll never know enough. You can't know enough. Tell yourself to shut up when you start talking like that. You don't have to worry. Tell me a story of resisting fear and worry to fromchadsmith@gmail.com. Send someone a text and ask them, do you know what the most repeated command in the Bible is? You can get a free copy of my book, The Most Powerful Story in the World, by going to fromchad.gumroad.com. The transcript of this message and hundreds of others are always available at www.fromchad.com.